Labas rytas, everyone. I'm here for the next 45 minutes or so. I'll try to share my vision on the future of technology and the future of applications. But let me begin with a short story that I recently had some experience. Approximately a month ago, I woke up in the morning, one morning, and I went to a bathroom, like every morning. And like every time I go to a bathroom, I take a device with me because this is just fun. Sometimes I take my iPhone with me, sometimes I take a laptop with me. And so this time, I took a laptop. I was watching some videos, some YouTube videos, some TEDx videos about technology, and I really feel that I need to share it with someone. I really felt the urge of sharing this experience with someone else. So I opened Skype, and I Skyped my friend in Riga. I go him, "Are you available? Can you talk to me right now?" And he goes, "Yeah, I can. I'm sitting in a bathroom, and I can talk to you right now." So we started a video conference. We looked at each other, talked to each other for an hour or so, shared videos online, watched these videos together, talked about them, and that's exactly how this presentation was made. Most of ideas in this presentation were created in two bathrooms, one being in Vilnius and one being in Riga. So I hope you'll enjoy that one. And if I look at this experience, what happened, then I see that there are three important cornerstones of what happened in that situation, and what is really the cornerstones of that allows technology. So one of them being a connection, another one being device, and the third one being application of those devices, right? And in that particular story, when I was creating this presentation, of course I had an awesome connection to share all these videos and to have this video conference, right? I had a wireless at my home. I had this laptop as a device that I used to do all of that. And I did apply a lot of applications, right? Skype, YouTube, etc. And now I want to go into each of these three cornerstones and share my thoughts. What have we have there, and where will these things move on? Where will they go further in the future? Okay? So let's start with the part of connection. To my mind, people, as we are actually emotional human beings, right? We are emotional animals, we are not technocrats, actually. We have been willing and we have felt the urge to communicate, to connect to each other all the time, right? When we were living in a cave, like human beings were living in a caves, they most likely were showing something, but they had to communicate who goes to the forest to pick berries and who goes to the forest to shoot mammoths, right? And that was really important. So they kind of, and that's the way they communicated. So the communication is really important. And this communication, of course, has evolved over time. And what we see there is that recently this communication and connection was really fixed. It was really fixed, and you had to be fixed to a particular place, right? It was fixed line. It was fixed internet. It was letters, maybe, fixed to your address, to your home address. So everything was fixed. And remember those times, how hard it was. How hard it was to set up a meeting. I remember like 15, 20 years ago, I wanted to set up a meeting with a friend. And we didn't have mobile phones. We didn't have an email, nothing, just a fixed line phone. So on Thursday night, we called each other and set up a meeting for a Friday night, right? And then what happens there is that one of us got in a traffic jam, another just has to do a little bit more in his previous meetings, in his previous business, and we never were able to meet at the time when we set this. So this is kind of, this was the problems that we had previously. Now what we are having right now we are having more mobile and more wireless technologies. We are having mobile phones, right? And that is just a tremendous thing if you think about that. You can reach anyone in any place at any time. And that is just fantastic, right? You can wake someone up in the morning by calling him. You can do as this guy has done right now, you can disturb someone while he's watching a presentation and call him right there. This is a powerful thing. And also the internet, right? The internet, the connectivity to internet, it's gone way more wireless, way more mobile over time, right? Right now, for example, many of you here are actually connected to internet, like you're connected online with your laptops, tablets, smartphones, and whatnot. And that is just a tremendous change. And that change will move on. That change will go even further, right? We'll have 4G networks soon, right? And with 4G network, we'll be able to connect from anywhere with a huge speed. We will not feel a difference, right? And that is a tremendous change that has been happening. And even further, we might have these near-field communication devices where we'll not need internet anymore. We'll be able to pair applications, we'll be able to pair devices just like that, right? Just putting them together. And that's also a tremendous thing. So what it allows you, it allows you to say, go in a shop, go to a winery stand, and right there, ask for help, right? Right there in a shop. Previously, you had to read a lot of books, you had to read about wines, you had to read which wine is good, which wine is bad. Nowadays, you just go in a shop, you take a picture of a wine, you search that wine online, and you get reviews for that wine, and you can make your choice, right? And with near-field communications that hopefully new iPhone will have, and hopefully new other phones will have, with that device, the opportunity will be even bigger, even larger. Say, with near-field communication, you would be able to buy tickets for login, not going to login shop or not going to Ticket ILT, but you'll be able to do that by putting your mobile phone to the advertisement somewhere in the street and just pressing buy. And that's a tremendous thing. And what it means, what this change of technology, what this change of connection means, is that World Wide Web is transforming to whatever, wherever, and whenever, right? That is a new thing for the web. That is a new thing. It's whatever, wherever, whenever. And what it means, it buries some responsibility upon those who put stuff online. And the responsibilities that it has upon those people is that nowadays we expect, and in the future even more we'll expect, that you can use any application, any website, any portal from any device at any place, right? And that is actually a huge responsibility. For example, now we have these Flash websites, and with my iPhone, I just can't open them. And what happens to me when I go into this situation, I kind of open this website, I want to surf it, but then it's Flash, and I just say, no, I will not use it. And I'd never go to the laptop. I never try to open it in a different way. I just go away. What else this means? What else this means is that we will not have a differentiation between our private lives and our our professional lives, right? Because we will not need to go to an office. There will be no need for that, right? There's no need to go to office. You'll be able to do anything at your home, in the garden, on a trolley bus, in your car, in a beach, wherever. It also means that your boss will call you in the midnight and ask to do something, right? It's not nice, but sometimes it happens. So it means that we will be more connected. We will be just connected, basically, with everyone through different devices. And who knows? I believe, personally, that in 10, maybe 20 years, we'll actually have those devices and this connectivity implanted in our bodies, right? Imagine that. Why wouldn't we be able to have a 4G implant in our head and just think of some search, say, think login 2011, and we would just receive search result in our head? That's a tremendous thing. Why not? Why not? Okay. Then connectivity was the first thing. Then the second thing is devices, right? What happens with devices? And what happens with devices? Okay, everyone is saying that we are having smaller gadgets all the time, right? That we are having tablets and smartphones, etc. And that's quite true. In 2010, there were about 300 million smartphones sold globally, and less than 30 million laptops sold globally, right? So smartphone market is 10 times bigger than a laptop market. It's kind of impressive. But what I want to tell you is that it's not about just getting smaller or getting fancier or getting a better design. It's actually about why do we do that? And we do that, again, because we are emotional human beings. We like something that we can attach to. We like something that we can play with, right? We like something that is there with us all the time. Actually, I'll ask you a question. How many of you take your devices, take your gadgets to the bathroom? How many of you take your gadgets to the toilet? Like it's really, actually it's rather few, I must say. I'm actually surprised because all friends that I know, they all are mainly connected through the bathroom. I would believe that the wireless router in your home should be in your bathroom. That's the place where you use that the most, right? But okay, what I also will say is that with these devices, like iPhone or any other phone, you use them, you meet them, you cuddle with them more often than with your families, with your husbands, wives, with your children, right? I think right now I actually will tweet about this experience because I just want to cuddle with my sweet little smartphone. It's just fantastic. Let's see, will it work? Okay. And this is emotional attachment to devices, right? You go to bed together with your device. You have, in a bed, you sleep yourself, your wife, and your smartphone, right? And that's actually the real experience that we are having right now. So we will live technology, we will live devices, and yet again I believe that we will be implanted devices in our brain. But what it means, and this is a hard thing to say in a conference meant for mobile and for web, etc. I'll say that there is no mobile applications. It doesn't happen. Mobile it should be a new regular. There is no mobile application, right? You are not talking, no one is talking about Safari application, right? No one is talking about Dell application, right? From consumer perspective, you don't even talk about Java application or .NET application. You don't do that. You just say, my internet banking. You just say, my forum cinema's cinema. Like, you don't think what is the technology underneath that. And that's actually the reason why I believe that we shouldn't talk about mobile applications as something special from the point of view of consumers. There is nothing special. Okay, it might be special from point of developers, because it's really hard to do that, right? It's really hard to do that. You need to put way more effort into design, way more effort into testing, way more effort into development, because it has to be perfect, because whenever it's not perfect, you just throw it out. That's actually the biggest problem. If you talk with mobile application developers, the biggest problem is how to make sure that the customer who has downloaded the application, how to make sure that he opens it at least twice. Because it's so easy to get the first opening, right? You just put smart add, application downloaded, you open it. But how to get that the application is opened the second time? And that's really important. But what I believe, that there should be no difference with what device you use it. There should be no difference. And we should stop thinking regular applications and mobile applications. We just should think applications. We just should think software, right? Just tools for our everyday lives that we can use and we can benefit from them. Okay, if we go to the third part of this magical triangle that I showed in the beginning, the third part is application. And when I talk about application, I don't mean programs, or I don't mean software on these devices. I actually mean, how do you apply these devices? How do you use those devices, right? And what's really important to my mind nowadays, and furthermore in the future, is a social application of devices. We don't want to have someone, like some authority, for example, to give us a review on a book, right? We are not doing that anymore. There was a profession some time ago where you were a critic of a book critic or movie critic. Nowadays, yes, there are some people still, but it's really going more or less extinct. Because nowadays, reviews are done by society. Nowadays, reviews are done by people. And that's what I mean with social pitch. But you actually want to receive these reviews. You want to receive the social element of when using something. And for example, the totally new, extreme, I might say, social experiment in application world is an application named Yobongo. I don't know how many of you have heard about Yobongo, but it's rather an extreme thinking and extreme idea. The basic idea is that total strangers would start chatting with each other and would meet each other just based on location. So what would it mean, say? On Friday night, you are at your home, and you just put in this application, you just chat in it. You say, I'm at home watching movies. For example, I'm at home watching Matrix Returned, or Batman Going Back. And then someone just walks down the street near your house, and he opens your bongo, and he says, ooh, there's a nice movie going on in the third floor. And he chats back, can I join the movie? I'll bring popcorn. And that's actually the idea of this social application, the extreme social networking, where you actually go and network with people that you don't know. And this social networking, it's really important, really important. And there is one thing that I would ask you to do, and that thing is that I would ask you to start using an application called Waze. Application called Waze, that's a tremendous social power. That's a social power against state police. That is a social application that allows you to share information regarding road situations in your community, right? And in Riga, if I didn't have that application, I would most likely get more speeding tickets when driving around, and most likely I would be stuck in more traffic jams. Because with that application, I can see that there is a traffic jam on that street, there is an accident on that corner, and there is an evil Grinch policeman in this bush, and I can get around the city way easier. So this practicality of these applications, that real benefit that I receive from the applications is tremendously important. And many of these applications are just for fun, but there is one application that I feel is really makes a difference. And that application is created in USA. That application is created in USA, in San Ramon Valley, and it's created by fire department. And let me explain what it does, and let me explain why I feel that we can make a tremendous difference with what we can do, what we can achieve. And this application, it basically, the fire department is the one that receives all emergency calls, right? Say, my house is burning down, my husband just got a stroke, I got a car accident, etc. And what they do in San Ramon is that people can sign up and say what skills, what medical skills they have. For example, now they have this, that you are able to perform first aid, right? This artificial breathing and heart massage. And what happens then, if there is an emergency case, when someone is out of breath, if someone is unconscious, this fire department sends emergency car, but they also send push notifications to every people around that area of emergency, who has admitted that they know first aid. And so literally, we are able to save lives, right? Literally. And to my mind, that is a tremendous power of technology, and that's tremendous power of applications. And that's actually a tremendous thing, fantastic thing that we could do. And what I am worried about and what I am a little bit, I feel pity about is that unfortunately, in this region, we don't really do that. We don't really take advantage of technology. We are actually really passive users of technology here. Really passive users. Okay, many of you might have laptops, smartphones, everything else. But if I look at my favorite applications, Waze, Foursquare, Twitter, there are so few people out there doing that. So few people. And we are not making the difference. We are not making the difference. We are letting technology slide out of our eye range, sight, and just fade away. We are just passive users of technology. We should become more active users of technology. We should invent stuff. We should help people with applications, with technology, with advancement of technology. We should play with technology. And when we do that, there's one important thing. That actually people want to see humane applications. Humane applications. What I mean by humane applications is that we want technology to be like human beings. We want technology to resemble human beings, right? For example, what do I mean by that? If I walk to some person and I say hi, I expect that that person will say hi back to me, right? And if I say hi, and the person doesn't say hi to me, I'm like, what's happening? Did I say something wrong? Didn't he like me? Didn't she like me? What's wrong with me? Is there something wrong? Like, why didn't the person say hi to me? And the same thing applies to applications, right? We want this humane experience with applications. We want to, if we say hi to an application, say we open an application, we expect application to say hi back to us. And the previous speaker actually had the very good examples about that, right? About this new Twitter experience where there is this bird that is tweeting and like making sounds when you do something, right? Or getting red when you do something wrong. And this is actually what I mean by humane applications. We want applications to respond to ourselves, right? We want applications to respect us, right? It's not okay to let some process in an application for 2 hours, right? Not okay. I consider myself being digital native, and when I open an application, 5 seconds. 5 seconds is the most I give to any application. If it can't talk to me in 5 seconds, that's it. Delete. I will never ever use that application again. Because we want applications to respect us, right? And that is the same thing. Say, if you go and you meet a drunk guy in a bar, you maybe don't recognize he's drunk, and you say, hi, how are you doing? And if the guy goes, that's it. You will not wait any longer, right? That's like, yeah, go, and you go away. You go away, you run away. That's the same thing you do with applications. That's the same thing. But when you look at many applications that are created at the moment, many of those applications are totally wasted, totally. You just can't communicate with them, right? And also a very important thing that we need to do is that applications need to remember. They need to be our friends. I would say they need to be our slaves in some type. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? There was a situation some years ago. I was using taxi every day at office because it was in the center. There was no place to park, so I used taxi company. And I used the same taxi company every day. I called them every day, 2 or 3 times a day, right? 2, 3 times a day. To the office, to the other office, to customer, etc. And one night, I was out on some crossing of streets, and I called the same company and said, hi, I'm on this crossroads. Please send the car. And the company goes, no. We are not sending cars to crossings, just to formal addresses. And I'm going like, what's wrong with you guys? I'm using you like for half a year, 2 or 3 times a day, and you can't send a car to a crossing. I'm really desperate, guys. And I totally got frustrated. Thank God at the end they sent the car, but more or less 1-2 more minutes, and most likely I would just call another company, right? And that's with applications, with technology. It has to remember. It has to remember when our birthday is. It has to remember what is our choices. It has to remember a lot of stuff about us, right? We have to feel, when we open application, when we take our gadget, we have to be able to cuddle with it and know that the gadget cares for us, right? It has to care for us. It has to remind us of the stuff that we forget. It must to do stuff that we don't like. It really must be our friend and slave at the same time. We might believe that there is no slavery in the world. There is slavery. We are enslaving technology to work for us. And that's really important. That's really important. Okay, now what I want to show you now as a conclusion of this part, I want to show you how Air Baltic, most likely know, a plane company in the region, how they have gone through this cycle of development based on connectivity, devices, and application, right? So basically, at the very beginning, when Air Baltic was established, there was no huge connectivity, there were no normal use of internet or technology, so they had to open a shop, right, where you can go reserve tickets, where you can buy tickets, and most likely you had to stand in a queue, you had to wait, you had to go. It was like not really well. Of course, then what happened is that they tried to put the same experience, they tried to put it online, on web, on whatever, wherever, whenever thing. And they did that, right? You were able to do all the same stuff. You were able to purchase tickets, to see your flight details, etc., etc., etc. And now Air Baltic is moving to mobile, right? They have moved to mobile. They have made a mobile application that sucks. Because they have never understood what is the real reason of mobile applications. They have made a mobile application that is totally not online, that there is no online information whatsoever. There is only the schedules of flights and no changes in delays, nothing is shown. You can't purchase tickets. You can't share a cab with your neighbor who is going to the same plane as you are in the morning. There is no use of that application. There is no extra value in that application. There is no sense to use that application. And I tried to use it once. So when we do move to other user experiences, when we move to other user interfaces, when we move to new gadgets, new devices, we have to think, what are the reasons for that? What are the benefits for that? We will not use, in a longer period of time, we will not use applications that doesn't make sense, right? A lot of stupid games. Yes, you try them once, you have fun for 5 minutes, and in the 10th, 15th minute, you understand that there is no fun, right? And then there is Angry Birds that have made it fun for years, right? For months, you just do it. You just play Angry Birds all over again and again and again and again. And that is a big difference, how you design application, how you think about the application. But what is even more important than this technology, applications, devices, connectivity, it's people. It's people. And what I will try to say to you is that people are seeking freedom. And that is actually the reason why technology is driven forward, okay? We seek freedom. If you look at lives, at the life cycle of human beings, we seek freedom at every stage of our life. When we are really small, right, we seek freedom, we want to get out of the small bed that we are put in, right? We just try to get out of it. Then later we are put in a school, right? We try to get out of the school, right? We try to get out of it. When we are later then put in a marriage, for example, we try to get out of it. And we try to get rid of our kids. We just like push our kids out of the home. We are seeking freedom all the time. We are seeking freedom all the time. And that is tremendously important, that we seek freedom. We seek freedom for our childhood dreams that failed. I wanted to be a DJ. I never did. I became an accountant, for example. What I can do now, I can take some applications, really cheap, and try, am I good at DJing? There's an application for €1 that I can try to like put songs together and maybe I'm good at it. I can try all these things, and I have to try all these things. I have to experiment with technology. I have to play with technology. I have to be stupid about technology. I have to do stuff that you will never imagine to be done. I have to create tables that eat mice. That's actually what I have to do. I have to create tables that eat mice, and that will allow me to understand how technology goes. And that's actually true. That's already done. There is a table that eats mice. Imagine that. There is a table that eats mice. Do you even follow? It eats mice. It eats mice. That's it. It eats mice. And that is a clock that eats flies. Right? That is a clock that eats flies. There is a mechanism in it that changes this body, fly body, mice body, into energy, into electricity that powers itself, powers the mechanism, and this thing is self-sustainable, right? And then we need to ask ourselves, how long will it take that technology will eat human beings? Because human beings are bigger, so we produce more electricity for them. And we need to ask, how long will it actually take us to get into Matrix? And I might bet that we'll get into Matrix in 100 years. 100 years, we'll all be in Matrix, we'll be consumed by technology, and technology will rule the world. But meanwhile, while still we can choose, we need to experiment. And that's the final thing that I want to say to you here. We need to experiment. And we, in this region, we have to do it. Germany is experimenting. USA is experimenting. They're hacking technology, putting technology together cheaply, because technology is affordable. We need to do the same. We need to play with technology. We need to blend different things together. We need to blend together Microsoft Kinect with helmet and wear it around and see what happens. Maybe nothing happens. Who cares? We can invent pet social networks, right? Social network for pets. Why not? It's kind of fun. Pets will know where other pets are. They will have some smells, and they will be able to go outside to cuddle with a neighbor cat, to have fun with neighboring dog in the springtime. It will be fun. We need to experiment. And that's the final thought that I would like to share. Technology is advancing. There'll be weird stuff coming at us. There'll be weird stuff thrown at us, and we need to experiment to be there. We need to be part of that technology. We need to do it here in Lithuania. We need to do it here to be part of technology, to breathe technology, to eat technology, because technology will be everywhere. Thank you.